Good morning. I'm not going to do the welcome. That's Crypto George's gig. He does his Sunday walks. I do my Monday morning walks. Ain't biting, just, trying to keep everything filled. And I direct a lot of you guys to people like Crypto Wendio and Cryptos R Us and Jab, Crypto Jab. All good people, good channels to watch. There's a lot of other guys out there. The Lark, Crypto Lark, that guy's good. I just passed my exit. If you want to talk about like a technical analysis and you want to talk about structure and all specifics, those guys are great. I'm just more of like on the discussion part. Like, why aren't you buying Bitcoin? Why do some of my friends don't buy Bitcoin even though they've seen how much my portfolio has grown? And it's not just Bitcoin for me. I mean, I was looking at my transactions and some of the gas fees and stuff that I had paid in the past to convert Bitcoin into like Ethereum and ADA and Chainlink and all the good ones. And then a bunch of crap too. Looked about how much I lost. Oh my God, there is so much money I lost buying, like just in the conversions alone, how much money was lost in those transactions. And then, not to mention spending all the Bitcoin, good Bitcoin on crap coins. That's why I call them ship coins, I guess, right? Ship your way out of here into the shit, or out of the shit, I don't know. And so, I learned a lot there, like it would have been a lot more profitable and just better for me overall. I just didn't understand Bitcoin that much, you guys. I just didn't understand it. I still really don't understand it, but 5 years into it, I'm understanding it a lot more than I did. So I'm a lot less eager to go ahead and risk my Bitcoin for trades and such. And back then, I wasn't doing spot trading. I was just converting through the app, which, oh my God, what a waste of money. Like, I wasn't into like knowing so much. I just thought the stable coin was like a thing to kind of do the transaction and you're over with. And now I'm a proponent for keeping stable coins in your wallet. I think it's a must. God, is it burger time? I want a hamburger. I want an In-N-Out burger. So I do these lives to bring up discussions about Bitcoin, and then people who are on the fence, or maybe they have just a little bit in, and maybe they don't even know really how they hold it. Like, oh, I know I have some, I just don't know how. Like, that's scary, right? Like, that is like one of the biggest deterrents for people getting in, and that's one of the biggest obstacles and sources of anxiety is for people like to buy it, and God forbid they bought a whole bunch at one time and not know where it's being held or what a wallet even is and transaction and all this shit. Like, there's so much to know. To be quite honest, it's actually really easy. Just like it's been made easy for us. Let me just reframe that. It's been made easy for us to utilize Bitcoin by these dApps, which are decentralized applications, and some stuff centralized. I mean, to a point, I guess, right? Like, yeah, I guess it's regulated. So I don't know if that's centralized, decentralized, but regulated. That's a topic. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, is regulated decentralized? Is there such a thing? I think there has to be some type of regulation for certain things. I know that there's certain regulations that are built into the Bitcoin protocol, but after that, that's it. It is what she is. So I have the Bitcoin coloring book, which is cool because it has the white paper in there, and it's like in a real light opacity. So you can barely see it. It's all written out. I think it's 2 pages long, but it's real small and real light opacity, so you can't. It's really hard to read. So I think you got it's a coloring book, so I don't know if you gotta get all on mushrooms and try to lighten that thing up and read the white paper, or just download it in PDF and read it from the internet, right? So crazy. No chats? Welcome to this live chat. There we go. Hold on, let's see here. I gotta drive, so I'll read the chat when I hit this red light. Lalo, read the chat for me. Did somebody just break down on things? Yeah. Had a chance to buy Bitcoin when it was at 300 and snoozed on it. Yeah, listen. I understand. That's a point of contention for people. Oh, red light. Like, oh, I could have bought it, so now I'm not going to buy it. Man, listen, even at 118,000, it doesn't matter. See, that's the thing, is that the price that it costs to get Bitcoin. Let me break it down in this form, is that if you don't hurry up and convert some of that dollar it's over there in US dollars, some of your energy, I should say, that's monetarily held in USD, United States dollar, it's going down in value as we speak. They just this morning just announced that they haven't got any news on the interest rates. We know about 25 basis points and maybe another 25 basis points for a total of 0.5%. We should see a decline in, but they're going to print more money when they do that. And they were talking about the inflation rate being up 2.7% or something. So that basically, in layman's terms, is that 2.7% inflation rate is the dollar debasing itself. It's like it's falling down in value. But they don't say, well, listen, your dollars aren't going to, like, they do it, but they kind of do it in a roundabout way, and they're not real about the S&P, and they're not real. Like Michael Saylor talks about all this stuff. He talks about the timeline on things. So if you're like on short bits of time, some of the arguments, they're just really not relevant. So I understand where some people throw an argument like, hey, it's just not enough to make me the return I need. Yeah, but what about the future when you need to be able to use some of those dollars? Don't you want to like store some of that energy for the future? It's going to increase in time, and within time it's going to increase in energy. It's already been proven. I mean, like you said, the guy $300. Hi, if you bought $300 worth. When you did, you'd have had a whole Bitcoin worth $120,000. I mean, right? Like the profit margin on that is out of this world, right? But again, like if we go and revisit how volatile was it, you didn't know if it was going to succeed when it was $300. It was probably just a cool idea, and if anybody took Satoshi's words and says you might want to pick some up in case it catches on, that would have been the best way to look at it. Like, I'm going to pick this stuff up. Hey, and if it goes to the moon, cool. And that's kind of like how I had my first $500 purchase. All right, I'm going to buy $500 worth when it was $4,600, and this was in 2020 in March. Dipped all the way into the threes, and I wasn't able to make the buy in time. I missed it by a couple hours, and it went up to like 40-something hundred. So yeah. But I didn't buy. I had $2,500 to spend that day, and I was listening to this guy named Tika Tawari on like some show, London Real, and he wanted $2,500, and he was going to give you like the top 5 picks to make you a millionaire in the future. And I'm like, fuck, $2,500. That's a lot of money to get somebody's like picks for crypto in the future, and he's and hyping up the crypto and doing all that, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna take this $2,500 MLM bull, whatever this guy is. Like he was talking real, like he was using real facts. The problem is it wasn't to my benefit. So I took the $2,500 out of my savings account, and I took $500 and bought Bitcoin immediately, and then I started buying Bitcoin and buying some other cryptos along the way, but I think I bought Ethereum. So I bought Bitcoin, and then I bought Ethereum, and then I bought some more Bitcoin. And this is where I would have been up 3 or 4 Bitcoin now if I would have just kept buying the Bitcoin and not buying other cryptos. And what's funny is if I did the math that way, I'd be up probably well over $200,000 more than I am now. Just if I would have just kept accumulating Bitcoin, didn't go into any other altcoins, didn't buy ADA, didn't buy blah, 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 XRP. At one time, you guys had 30,000 XRP. And when SEC threw the book, they said they were going to like seize all XRP. And I'm like, and I didn't know how to do wallets. And the wallet I had didn't accept XRP at the time. So I was like, what, I'm just going to sell the majority of my XRP. I sold 27,000 XRP and got out of the position. But this was a long time ago. This is 21, late 21, 22, something like that. So there's that opportunity. And now I got like maybe 1,000 XRP back. I'm still an XRP guy, but I was just, you can get, they were spooking you. That's why I say right now is the best time to get involved. There's less of the spook, less of the, what is it, have you heard of Pi coin? Man, there's like thousands of coins. I don't know if, I'll look at my bubbles, crypto bubbles. If you don't know, go to cryptobubbles.com. You can check out these little bubbles. They show and represent all types of different aspects. You can do hour, day, week, month, year. You can do the highest in capital. You can do the highest movers, all that kind of stuff. It's really cool, and they kind of come up and float around and kind of represents what they're doing out there in the ether, how they represent themselves as total capital and how their growth is, and especially percentage rate. It's a good way to be able to glance and see it, some of the coins that you might be watching or the ones that you own, how they're working, and then you can go from there. You can click on it, it gives you a little bit more in-depth graph and a little bit more in-depth stuff. So I'm at work, you guys, me and the big guy right here. This is Nalu Kainalu, and he's out of Makanakai and Babakailehu. All right, you guys. If you guys have any questions or something, hit me up in the comments. Go check out some of my videos. I am at the studio that I do the podcast at. We just have done a podcast out of the studio in quite some time, and we're hoping to change that. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.